Hey guys, welcome back. So I have decided that I am going to do a series, maybe. I don't know how many videos it'll be, at least 4. And my plan is to continue doing installations of this series periodically. I have 3. The first 3 videos are going to be like the setup videos. And this is one of them. Anyway, I don't want to get into too many of the details and make it too complicated, but today I'm going to be sharing all of the sketchbooks, art journals, and just like painting surfaces that I own. And I'm doing this series because I am trying to hold myself accountable to my goals. And one of my goals for 2025 is to get back to painting. I have not painted or like drawn consistently since probably high school, and I miss it. What the heck is that? I don't know what that was. Very weird. I don't know what that noise just was. Something outside. It sounded like somebody started power washing my house and then slowly walked away with the sound of the water still going. I don't know. That was very strange. There's nobody there though. Okay. Anyway, trying to hold myself accountable to reaching my goals. And one way I have realized works for me is to film it and post it on my channels. I don't know why that works for me, but it like tricks my brain into feeling like it's like an important task and it needs to get done, even though it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I post or not. I mean, I enjoy it, but it's like I don't make any money off of YouTube, so it's not like it's eating into my income to not post. So I don't know why it works, but it tricks my brain into not feeling guilty about spending time on the things that I want to do. So that's why I'm filming this series. I don't know that anybody's actually going to care about it. It's mostly just for me to hold myself accountable to my goals. Anyway, I have a bunch of different like painting surfaces. So I'm just going to share everything that I have. And this is also going to work as a way for me to remember what I have and to start thinking about the ones I want to focus on using next year. So let's kind of move stuff over to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my smaller ones first. So I have these artist trading cards, and they are on Strathmore watercolor paper. They're 2.5 by 3.5, and it comes with 10. I haven't used any of them, so they're all in there. And then I also have this one, which is on acrylic paper. And there's also same size, also 10 sheets. I haven't used any of those. I have this, what brand is this? Fluid? Is that the brand? Yeah, I guess so. It's a watercolor paper block. It is cold press. I don't prefer cold press. I prefer hot press just because it's smoother, but I'm still gonna use it. Like, I'm not gonna waste it. It's 4.5 by 6, and it comes with 15 sheets, and I don't think I've used any. If I have, I've maybe used one, but I don't think I've used any. So, got that. Oh, I have some artist trading card sleeves. Frame cards, which, do these come, let's see, I haven't actually looked at these. Okay, so it comes with envelopes. 6 cards and 6 envelopes. So what? You're supposed to be able to... Oh, so you can like paint on a card and then slip it in there? Does that fit one of these like artist trading cards? Okay, yeah, it does. I don't know if I would end up doing that. Maybe, but I think more likely I would paint the frame and the inside and maybe just leave enough room to write a little something and then paint a card and slip it in here. I don't know. Possibilities. I forgot that I had these completely, so I have no idea how I'm going to use them. Okay, I have another watercolor pad. Okay, I thought that was a block, but it's a pad. Niji cold pressed watercolor paper. And let's see, 5x7, 15 sheets. I have another fluid watercolor block, same as the other one, but it's just 6x8. And then this is like gotten dusty and dirty, but luckily it's still in the plastic. This is a chunk of paper from the paper company. This is 100% cotton watercolor paper, 6x9, 200 GSM, and it has 50 sheets. And I think, yeah, this is cold press, which I think this paper is supposed to be like really nice. I think a lot of people really like it. But I haven't used it yet. So I feel like I do this thing where I know I want to paint. I know I want to make art. So I like keep buying art supplies. My husband buys me art supplies. And then I don't end up using them because I get intimidated because it's like this, it's like a cycle, like a circle, a snake that eats its own tail, because I feel like I get intimidated by the thought of painting because I feel like, well, I'm not going to be able to do a good enough job, so I feel like I'm going to be wasting the supplies, which it, side note, is just ridiculous. There's no such thing as if you're working on your craft, there's no such thing as wasting the supplies. But I feel like that is the reason why I get intimidated. But the only way to solve that is to actually paint and become more comfortable with my painting skills and practice. So it's like a catch-22. So I'm just gonna have to get over it, and that is why I'm filming this. Okay, so next I have this, which I made myself. I actually have 2 of them, like the other one. I made these both myself by just taking a pad of tracing paper and like folding it and stapling it into a little booklet. And I did this because I was inspired by some videos I saw of somebody who had the onion skin journal, but those journals, I feel like they're sold out a lot, and then they're also expensive. So it's not exactly the same thing. I think that the tracing paper is less translucent than the onion skin, and I'm sure the texture is probably not exactly the same, but it's the same idea. It's the same concept, and I could make this with the materials I already had. So I went ahead and I did that. I made 2 of them, and I did kind of already start testing materials on here. So I don't know why I did it this way, but the first thing I did was I slapped some paint on here, and I am actually really surprised that it didn't like bleed through. Super surprised. And I'm also surprised at how well a lot of these other mediums worked on here, especially the colored pencil and the crayon. I don't know why, but that's just surprising to me. So I have like craft acrylic paint. It's not like quality acrylic. It's the ones in the little bottles that you can get like Michael's and Walmart and stuff. I did some Heidi Swapp Color Shine, Tri Plus fine liner, a ballpoint pen, a gel pen, an alcohol marker, which actually was really nice on here, a super tip, Crayola super tip, a highlighter, a colored pencil, and a crayon. And this is just like a regular like children's wax crayon. And that actually worked pretty decently. And then you can see everything on the other side. And I just thought it looked really cool when this other person had, like she would draw on one side of the page only from what I could tell for the most part. But then since it's translucent, you can see through and it would create this layered effect that just looked really cool. And I liked it. So that's why I made it. I haven't actually used them yet, but I have kind of tested it, like I said. Okay, next I have this Daler and Rowney sketchbook. I think I got this at Walmart, and I literally just got it because I wanted a sketchbook that wasn't coil bound so that I could paint across the entire thing. And also paint without having to worry about getting paint on the coils or in the little holes and stuff. And this lays relatively flat, so that's really nice. And I think this was maybe like 10 bucks probably. It is 8.5 by 11, 100 GSM. And yeah, I don't know like what, it's very like, the paper is definitely pretty cheap feeling, but personally I don't need super like fancy paper for my sketchbooks. This will probably work just fine for my needs. It doesn't really say anything about, yeah, it doesn't say anything about what the paper is made out of. Just that it's 100 GSM soft white. But there is that, a really good option for a cheap sketchbook. I mean, I haven't actually used it yet, but I feel like for the price, it definitely was not more than $15. I'm pretty sure it was only like 10 bucks. And I got it from Walmart, like I said. They also have very similar ones, if not identical ones, at Michael's for like 10 or 15 bucks. That also lay flat, but yeah. Next, I have this Canson Universal sketch book thing. I'm not a fan of the spiral sketchbooks. I didn't buy this myself. This was part of my materials for an art class, probably when I was in college. Yeah, it's 9 by 12, 6 or 65 pound. Honestly, this paper feels even cheaper than the Daler and Rowney sketchbook. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff in here from school and then also from me just like experimenting with stuff. Yeah, I have some stuff of me trying to like figure out where I was gonna put stuff and like room sizes and stuff. And then also I sketched out some book journal spread ideas in here. And then I have some really bad sketches from a long time ago, so no judging. It looks so bad. And then I think all the rest of this stuff is like school assignments. So these are all really old. So that's everything that is in that one, I believe. The rest, oh, do I have something in the back? Scribbles from my son. Yep, there's some scribbles from him. I think the rest of it is blank. Let's do those last. So I have this other spiral sketchbook, and this was another one that was kind of like this, where it just had a bunch of random stuff in it. But then one day I decided I was gonna try to fill in the gaps and start working on it. So I put a bunch of stickers on the cover, and then I started doing swatches of all of the paints that I have. So I have a Prang 7-pan watercolor set, and I painted that here. A Prang 16-pan set, and I actually really like how these look on this paper. So I think I'm going to be digging into those a bit more. What is this? The Royal and Langnickel watercolor tubes. I have like this tin of like really cheap watercolors, and they're like very chalky, and this was them. Reeves watercolor tubes, some just like old random sketches. Reeves gouache. Oh, I have a blank page here. I didn't even realize that. Some more old sketches. This I did with the cheapest crayons you could possibly get. I don't even remember what brand they are, but they're the ones that are like more wax than color. But I felt the need to create something to like paint or draw or something in here, and I just grabbed, like, I wanted to do it with really cheap supplies so that I wouldn't fall into that trap where I feel like I'm wasting materials on something that's not going to turn out great. So this is a sketch from a picture that I took when we went down to New Orleans, and we did like a gator boat tour ride thing. So you can see the little gator in the water and my son, and it doesn't look great, but it was fun to do. And yeah, same with this. This was from another picture that I took in New Orleans. And then this was one that I did with actually the Crayola Colors of the World markers, like the skin tone ones. I took the jumbo markers, and I did this. And I literally just looked up a random landscape and did that. Another crayon sketch from a picture that I took. And I actually really like this one. And then another landscape sketch. This is done with both alcohol markers and the Colors of the World Crayola markers. The only thing that I regret about this is that I wasn't thinking, and I didn't do the trees first. I should have done the trees first, because then I could have like done the mountain around them and that, you know, obviously would have made more sense. It would have looked better. The trees wouldn't be blending into the mountain, but it's fine. It's totally fine. I was really just trying to get myself to loosen up and to create something without being concerned about the outcome. That's what all of these sketches so far, that was the purpose of them. So it doesn't matter to me really what they look like. This one I did with one of my gouache sets. And this is from a picture of my Halloween decorations at the front of my house in New York. And I like how it turned out. It could have turned out better, but again, the motivation behind the process was the same as the other ones. I just wanted to use a different medium. And also, the reflections that I painted in the windows, when I compare it to the reference image, despite the fact that I was intentionally being like loose and like not trying to get details, I feel like when I look at this from like a little bit of a distance, I can see and tell what everything is, which is pretty crazy and really cool to me. Okay. Got some other sketches. And then what I did on a lot of these, I took these like jumbo markers that I have, and all the blank pages, or a lot of the blank pages, I colored the entire page. And my intention was, I did the same thing here. You can see like a lot of pink in the spots that didn't get paint. And I did that specifically because I wanted, if there ended up being little bits that didn't get paint on them, I wanted that color to be able to come through instead of just having blank spaces that don't add to what I'm painting. This is another Halloween picture, probably from that same year, of my son in his costume sitting on our front porch. I just haven't gotten around to actually painting it yet, but I have kind of roughly sketched it out. And so that is my plan for all of these ones that have this like solid color on it, is to eventually paint over it. So I've got the Reeves watercolor, like white tubes. I must have two different color tubes. Yeah. The Artist Loft watercolor tubes have faded so badly. Like, they weren't the best when I originally swatched them, but they've definitely faded. And they haven't been like in the light or anything. They've been in a closed sketchbook away from a source of light. They're the only ones so far that I've noticed that I swatched that have faded, which is crazy. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I'll probably just, I don't know, maybe I'll just use them and know that they're going to fade and get over it. These are the Artist Loft gouache tubes, which have held up really well, actually. I really like this Prussian blue color. These are some like custom, not custom ones, but they're like duochrome watercolors that I got for my birthday or Christmas or something, probably Christmas last year. I don't remember the brand, but whenever I do the video where I show all of the painting supplies that I have, I'll show these. I'm filming this video first, but I think I'm going to post the one with the supplies before this. I'm not sure, but whatever these are will be in there. These are the Arteza gouache tubes. And this Prussian blue was really not well incorporated. Like, you can tell the ones where they were separating because they're very splotchy. So like the burnt umber, the Prussian blue, rose, they just were not great. And the sap green is kind of streaky and the pale green. So I don't know. I do really like the black and this deep green from here, but not the greatest quality. These and this are from the Kuretake Gansai Tambi 36 pan set that I have. These are from a set of Prismacolor soft lead art sticks. I feel like maybe I shouldn't go through the swatches of all of these because I can just do that in the paint video. So I'll flip through it, but I'm gonna just stop talking about it. So there, that's a little scribble from my son. There's a few in here that I'm definitely not going to be covering up. Oh, I have noticed though, it's interesting. When there is like marker or something on the other side, the wax created a relief. The wax from the crayon that's been sitting there for probably like years before I ever put the marker on the page, while it's been closed, has picked up some of the pigment and created a relief, which I thought was very interesting. It's not gonna be a big deal because I'm gonna paint over it, but I did find that interesting. This is a painting that I did when I was testing out these gouache paints, which I don't even remember which ones they were. But I just painted a very quick sketch of the first ghost I ever saw. His name was Fred. We named him Fred. Me and my sisters, we named him Fred when we were children, and he would like stand in our doorway of our bedroom and just like move the door back and forth. So there's that. Some of these sketches these were for a daily drawing challenge that I was doing with a friend that I'm A, no longer friends with, and B, I like didn't actually end up completing it. I think I did just a few days, but there's that one. I think my little octopus balloon looks real cute. Bird of Paradise. I don't remember what the prompts were at all. That's a Pokemon. A Goku fish. Zero. Some more swatches. Some more colored pages. This was just me testing out these gouaches. I don't like how this came out. That's on me though, not on the gouache. I do like the gouache. This painting was painted based off of this, which I don't even know if you can really see. It's just like a sketchy doodle that I was doing during a D&D session one day, and I decided I was just going to stick it in here and paint a version of it. So I did that. Again, this was me testing these watercolors out, and first of all, I actually am really happy with how this turned out. I think it looks pretty cool, and I also really love these paints. And these are the last things that I've done in here. These are using, what are they called? King Art. They're like these acrylic crayon sticks, and they are water soluble and like smudgeable when they first go down, but when you let them, like, they do dry down eventually. Like that's not coming off. But these are just like random little sketches that I did one day when I was feeling like I needed to do something. But yeah, I think everything else in here, oh, this was, my son was using this when he was playing Among Us with his friend. Yeah, so that's everything that's in that sketchbook. Where can I put this? I have this Aqua Bee watercolor paper. I think, yeah, it's definitely cold pressed. It's very old. It's 9 by 12 and it has 12 sheets. I have no idea how old this is, but it's old. The pages are very yellowed. I haven't used it. I don't even know where I got it. This could have been given to me by someone. I don't think that I got this in like any school supplies for any art classes that I had. So I didn't buy this. So I don't know where it came from, but I've had it for a very long time. And clearly it's existed for a very long time because it's very yellowed. I don't care. I will still paint on it. I don't know if I would take the pages out. They look like they might want to come out on their own. So I might not have a choice in the matter because they might just start falling out. But we'll see. I'm going to try to keep it intact if I can. I have another pad of tracing paper if I ever want to make another tracing paper sketchbook, because I don't use tracing paper really for any other purpose. I just got these with like the supply sets for my art classes and stuff in school. So there's that. And then I also have this palette pad, which I don't know if I'm going to end up using this. It definitely could come in handy, but I do have an actual like nice palette that I plan on using. But this might be handy if I want to turn any of my water soluble supplies into paints. So like if I want to use those King Art like acrylic crayon sticks, but I don't want to put it directly on the page and I just want to make paint out of it, I think that this could potentially be really good for that. So I'm sure I'll get use out of it. Next, I have this stack, and the top one is really dirty. Don't mind that. I have this stack of canvas board, and I don't know why. Some of these are wrapped in plastic and some aren't. They must have come in the pack this way, because there's no reason I would have done this. Also, why are they different sizes? That is so odd. Okay. So half of these have shrink wrap on them and half don't. All the ones with shrink wrap are just like a couple millimeters taller than the ones that don't. And I don't understand why, because these definitely all came in a set together. So that's confusing. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 of these. And I don't know if I'm gonna bother trying to save these for like final pieces or more formal pieces that I'm trying to do. I don't know. I think I want to primarily work in my sketchbooks until I've built up a little bit more confidence, and then maybe I'll go to a canvas board and try to create something on there. The thing about canvases and canvas board is that if I don't like how the painting turns out, I can paint over it. I am never wasting the supply by things not turning out how I want them to, or me not liking the end result. Also, I have lost all like mental financial connection to these. That probably isn't the best way to phrase that, but I have had these sitting around for so long that I no longer feel like using them. Even if I used it, I destroyed it for some reason and I had to throw it away, I no longer feel like I'm wasting supplies, even though technically maybe I'd be wasting the physical supply. But for me personally, when I think about wasting supplies, my concern primarily is that it's going to cost me money to replace it. So I've had these sitting around for so long that is no longer a concern for me, because my mind no longer connects this to like a financial purchase. That probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense to most people, but I feel it's like the sunk cost fallacy, you know, like you keep something around, you don't want to throw it away because you spent so much money on it. But I feel like the longer I've had an item, the less strongly that sentiment impacts me. So if I've had something for a really long time, there's absolutely no way that the sunk cost fallacy is going to get to me, because I no longer have a monetary attachment to the thing. That probably doesn't make any sense and was over explaining, but oh well. I have a ton of those, so I can use those. I also have some just actual canvases. I have two 11 by 14 canvases, so this is a pack of two. I have no idea where these are from or where I got them, when I got them, no clue, but I have two of those. And then I have, it looks like a 7 pack. There must have been, no, it doesn't look like any more could fit in there. Did it really only come with 7? That's weird. So I have these 12 by 12 canvases. Oh yeah, it comes with 7. These are from usartsupply.com, I guess. So I have those. I don't know that these are necessarily like my favorite sizes. I'm definitely not a fan of square. I don't like painting on square objects. I don't know what it is. I don't like painting on round objects, and I don't like painting on square objects. Like I need different dimensions, but I'm sure I'll get use out of those in some way. So those are all of the surfaces that I can show you at my desk. Everything else I have is very large, so I am going to take you guys down and show you those now. Okay, I keep my large sketchbook / painting surfaces in two different places, because I have two different types of sizes. I have some more like mid-sized ones, and then these are my largest ones. They just go under my like painting table thing that I've set up, because I don't have anywhere else that they'll fit. The bottom two are giant pads of tracing paper, and then the next two are drawing paper, and then the next two are Canson watercolor paper. So the watercolor paper is 15 by 20, and then these are 18 by 24. I think the bottom's the 19 by 24 on those ones. I have no idea what I'm going to use the tracing paper for. No idea. I have these because at one point my husband and I were both at the same school, and we both got the same art supplies as part of our like supply package. Even though we were in different majors, we both had art classes. So that's why I have two of all of these, because they're all from when I was in art school, and honestly, we never even ended up using them, which is crazy. I have other ones that I used, but we didn't end up using these. So, I mean, I have them, so I'll use them eventually, but I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna move on to show you the more like mid-sized ones I have. Okay, this is where I have all of my other more mid-sized paper pads. These are going to be a little harder to show to you. I have a big mess to my left. So yeah, it's a little hard to get in here, and it's just going to create even more of a mess if I take them all out and then have to like finagle them back in. But I'm just going to quickly go through what I have. So right here I have some newsprint paper, marker paper. I have 2 of these Canson sketch pads. There's the second one right there. And then I have this, and they're like upside down so that they don't get ruined, because the spine is more stable. This Bristol pad. I really should have brought my tripod over here, but I didn't think about it, and it's far, far away in the land of upstairs, and I'm not going there right now. So next I have this Bristol paper, which I have a lot of Bristol, more Bristol. And then this, which says it's a multi-use drawing paper. I'm not really sure. It's just like a thin sketchbook paper, really. But this is 14 by 17, and all of these are like roughly the same size. So that's those. I completely forgot. I thought I was done with all the smaller stuff, but I had forgot that I decided I was going to show these after all the actual like drawing surfaces. So I do have some art journals as well, which are less traditional painting surfaces for me. I have this one that I haven't started working in yet, and this is like a somewhat guided one, because I mean it's already got a bunch of pages in here for you to use as bases and to start working off of. And it also has, so this is the Happy Hour Art Journal by Jane Davenport, whimsical and wild. It says 100 plus specialty art papers, stickers, and inspiring drawings to paint, color, and customize. And pretty much it's an art journal. And it has a little like timesheet here where you can keep track of like an entire year's, I think. An entire year's worth of like how much time you spent in here, which is pretty cool. In the back, I think the stickers are in the back. Yeah, so has some stickers back there. And then these are like collage papers. And then you have some like watercolor paper. And then some, I think it's like marker paper. Some craft paper. And then just like regular weight cardstock. And I haven't started working in here, but I really want to. I just need, I want to finish my other ones that I like made on my own before I jump into here. But this would also be a good idea if I'm just like 100% blocked on ideas. It would be good to jump in here and start doing stuff. But I have that. And then I have this, which is literally just a notebook, a spiral notebook that you can even still see a bunch of my notes in here from random stuff that I decided I didn't need the notes anymore. But I didn't want to waste the notebook. So I decided to turn it into an art journal. And I haven't actually completed any spreads in here yet. But what I did, and I did it to this one at the same time, and this is the one I'm currently working on, is I just went through and I had some pots of like super cheap like children's paint essentially, and I wanted to use them up. So I went through and I just painted every single page, just whatever color. Some of them I put a couple simple designs on, just to use up that paint and get every page to have a pre-done background essentially. So when I go to do pages in here, I have a jumping off point already. I can use the jumping off, like I can use either the pattern that I put on there as inspiration, the color that I put on there, or I can just do something completely different if I have a different idea. But it has taken away the intimidation factor of a blank page. And I think also like repurposing a notebook in this way also helps me, because it takes away that like preciousness of it that even sometimes just a blank sketchbook can have. So I have that. I do plan on working on these pages. I just don't know when. I'm hoping to finish this other one, this larger one, this year in 2024. So maybe I'll focus on this one in 2025. I'm not sure, but I have that. And then this is actually the last thing that I'm going to be sharing with you. This is the art journal that I'm currently working on. So I will kind of flip through and show you what I've done so far. And I started out super simple, not really knowing what I was doing. And I feel like as I've gone through, I've kind of gotten a better grasp on techniques and different things. I'm still nowhere near like good at it, but I'm happier with the results more often now than I was at this point. Although I do actually really like this first page. There are elements of it that I like, and I really like the color scheme. Even though I don't think that the execution was necessarily the best. Definitely not on this one. But I will just go ahead and quickly flip through these pages for you. I had some accidents happen here because the, what is it? What is this called? The paint, whatever, the 3D stuff was sticking to itself whenever I closed this, even though it was completely dry. And it still does stick to it. It's not sticky when you touch it, but it'll stick to itself. So I have a paper in here. I probably should put like wax or parchment paper in there, but this is working fine so far. Excuse me. This one I probably don't need this paper anymore because I don't have anything in here that I think is going to actually stick to itself anymore, so I can probably take that out. And I'm going to keep this one in here because these star glitters that were literally just like confetti glitters that I mixed in with some Mod Podge and painted that on do stick to each other because they are like, the edges are like sharp and they catch on each other and stuff. So I am going to keep this one in here, but there's that one. This one I probably don't need a paper for. So. This one I do because, again, the modeling paste, is that what it's called? Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. I'm also very happy with how this one turned out. I feel like it's just, the camera just doesn't do it justice. There's a lot of different textures and like shiny things, so the camera just doesn't pick it up very well. And there's that one. That one, I did start off pretty much always gluing magazine papers down, like magazine images. And then here I kind of got off of that and just painted. And the difference in how the pages feel is interesting. So when it's just paint on there, the pages feel like kind of like weird faux leather, and they definitely feel more substantial, obviously, when there's like extra layers of paper on there and Mod Podge. And I think I like the sturdier feel more, but I don't always want to deal with having to wait for the Mod Podge to dry. I did use a magazine page on this one. You probably can't even really see it anymore because I painted over it mostly. But I had to do that because this page on the back has a hole. So I wanted to patch that hole. But yeah, this is another one where it doesn't really do it justice on camera. But I just really like how it turned out. And I have, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages left to do. I have 7 spreads left. I don't know if I'm going to get that done by the end of the year, but I'm hoping that I can. And I do like how like thick and chunky it's getting. But I had this book and I had found, like, I found all the llamas. So I was like, well, I found everything. It's not like reusable. I'm not gonna forget where they were. So art journal. And I'm really liking how it's turning out so far. So that is everything for the painting surfaces that I have. And I will be doing a video where I talk about my painting goals for 2025. So in that video, I will discuss further like which of these I'm planning on working in 2025, which ones I want to completely use up, how much of other ones I want to use up, like all of that stuff, including like the supplies that I want to use as well. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.